turn our attention now to, well, party politics, particularly for the opposition People's Democratic Party. There's been so much happening pre the election, during the election, and now after the elections. And there are questions as to how the People's Democratic Party would pull itself together and perhaps play that all-important role of opposition. Well, this interview was conducted with former governor of Rivers State, a prominent member of the party and member of the G5. And here's what he said at that time. Take a listen to this, and we'll come back to have this conversation.
Let me tell you this. How would PDP have won the election when you fail to consider the mood of the nation at that time? How would they have won the election? Look at the areas that PDP didn't win. What happened? Because of arrogance, because of greed, because of impunity. If PDP had done what they're supposed to do, then you would have talked about that.
Not because of some of you who worked against
Not some of us who feel that there should be equity, there should be justice, there should be fairness. And that's why I'm calling the National Working Committee. They should, with all matter of urgency, suspend the presidential candidate, suspend people like Abuni Tabor, suspend people like Sule Lamido from the party, so they can rebuild the party.
Well, Mr. Wike, who's now the Minister of the FCT, speaking there in an interview with Channels Television's Seun Akimbaloye. So that naturally has generated lots of reactions. That's just an excerpt of it, by the way. The full video is on our YouTube page at Channels Television. So let's get a sense of how the PDP may be handling all of this. There's issues at the national level, even at the state level. We're joined by Mr. Pedro Obaseki, who's the Director of Research, PDP Presidential Campaign Council, joins us live from our Abuja studios. Good to have you on the program.
Thanks to be here again, Coyote.
Well, so there's the national issues, which we'll come to, but also the state issue as well. I mean, a lot of people hearing your name alone would naturally relate you with Edo State and maybe remember what they've seen play out in the political space, the governor and his deputy. Images emerged today, what was described as the deputy governor relocating to another office, and that has caused a lot of debate. And I wonder, as a son of the soil, if I can use that term, as a member of the PDP, what you make of all of this going on, particularly in Edo State.
I will play the role of the peacemaker because I'm a younger brother of the governor and I'm a football striking partner with the deputy governor. And I think the time has come for all relevant parties to sheath the sword and look beyond the personality clashes. I also heard, I think that is correct, that the deputy governor had made some form of public apology to the governor, and he has withdrawn his case from the court. A case I once said in one of the programs here as a preemptive, you know, maybe a little ill-advised. So I would want, as a member of the PDP, I would like to stick to the national issues as a national campaign consultant to our flag bearer. Sheath the sword, sirs, for the sake of our people and for the sake of the retention of power within the state, and most importantly, for the sake of our shared commonwealth, so that we don't seem to become the unending, badly scripted melodrama in the public domain. So that is my advice to them. And I think both of them have ways, avenues, that they can, behind the sanctuary of locked doors, straighten the whole stuff out and sheath the swords. They all know themselves, and I think this can be handled. There's absolutely nothing that cannot be handled if there is the will. And if there is the will, they will both pave a way. And I think the deputy governor should also show a lot more remorse so that nobody wants to fight with his underwear. So maybe that is why the governor is a little more circumspect, because our state had given our deputy governor so much latitude, too much than any other state deputy governor in the immediate annals of our history. And I think both of them, as friendly as the ones were, they cannot just forget about the yesterdays they both shared.
I mean, for the politicians, they might think this is politics, as we heard the former governor of Ekiti State saying recently. But there are people who are watching, and they might take this serious, even beyond, what the politicians are saying or doing. So it's important for them as well to be watchful. But you said you're playing a peacemaker role. So let's talk about the national issues now. You use the term "shit the swords" for Edo politics, for the governor and the deputy governor. Incidentally, a leader in your party used similar terms, Chief Bode George, when he was talking about how to resolve the issue between the former governor and perhaps the leadership or some leaders in your party, saying the issue should be resolved amicably. Some think no. Some issues have been brought up, some actions have been made, utterances that should be punished. And I wonder, what is the thinking then really on the way forward, specifically because the PDP has a major role to play, at least now, as a major opposition?
I would like to start immediately with the upsound that was played earlier, which was an interview that was heard just last week by Mr. Wike. Why I would say "shit the sword" in Edo, I'm talking about persons who are still within the same party. For anybody to still consider Mr. Wike as a member of the PDP, that person is just playing roulette with the truth. Mr. Wike is not a member of the party. The fact that he has not been officially pulled out from the party, expelled or expunged or suspension is an aberration, is a hiatus. It even beggars the question, because you were speaking, shown in that interview, was speaking with the sitting minister of an APC government. This is very clear. We are in a multi-party democracy. You get my point? So I think in terms of, you use now the internal PDP internal crisis. The PDP internal crisis now seems to have is being fueled by external factors who are playing the ostrich, one leg in, one leg out. That cannot continue. If you are a man of verve, if you are a man of integrity, you want to work at UAC and collect your money at John Holt. It doesn't work that way. You see, for me, I think it is laughable for persons to continue to give the newly appointed FCT minister the latitude to be riding roughshod over everybody. When I heard him speak now, I revolted within myself. My sense of reason and my sense of propriety actually despaired itself within myself. I cogitated and got angry. Why, if Pedro or Obaseki has decided that certain persons I had some form of alliances with in the past no longer serve my purpose, we no longer have a commonality of interest and purpose, the best thing to do, the honorable thing to do, is to leave. But of course, you can say he's playing a Mephistophelian role, like a Satan lieutenant. It was on this same channel. I still remember that popular interview. You also interviewed him once upon a time, Kayode. That interview with Shehu and Co. sitting, Benga Oleba sitting with him in his palatial courtyard in Port Harcourt. And he said, unquote, Nigerians are not a race with short memories. He said that the APC was a party of cancer people. That PDP, he qualified it, a party that had malaria. So right now, he said if he goes to the PDP, APC, it will seem as if he's with the devil.
So help us understand
this. The man
this.
right now is a lieutenant for those people he once described. I didn't describe them. So
well, let's help us understand this quickly. Just quickly, help us understand this. So you've talked a lot about the former governor, but a lot of people would also ask, what about the party? The party has its mechanisms. Is it that the party does not have enough courage to do what you are suggesting or what you are asking the former governor to do? Isn't the onus on the party, and they always say no man is bigger than the party, so we expect that the party should be bigger. Shouldn't the onus be on the party, its leadership, to make the decision?
You know, you are a very smart. You are a very smart boy. I get scared when you interview me sometimes.
Nothing to be scared
Let me put it this way. I will use you to answer the question. Your first line was, Bode George, one of the founding members of the party, BOT member of the party, once upon a time vice chairman of the party, had said, let's look for peaceful ways to settle this. And that is what the background of the party, to my understanding, have been doing prior to now. But that very interview crossed the line. It was having a Rubicon, and he crossed it. Suspend Tambuwa, suspend Atiku Abubakar. Who is Nyesom Wike? That is my point. And I think this, what he has done, is like putting his finger on the trigger. Many have wanted, there are doves and there are hawks who have taken variegating positions. But right now, he has pushed the entire machinery towards the fact that, hey, we have to wake up, let these scales fall off our eyes. We have to wake up and smell the coffee. The more Nyesom Wike and his collective journeymen, that band of 5, continue to ride roughshod over us, the PDP may just be seeking a knock Dimitis colloquy. And that must stop. So many of us, the younger ones amongst us, are calling on the party leadership that the man has given you even the guns and the bullets. So please arrange for us so that we know those who are with us. That is what the Bible says. How can we anyone come together except we agree?
Well, it's always interesting how politicians hold the holy books dearly, can quote easily from the holy books. But I'd like you to simplify this. Let's wind down.
Kayode, you have to understand, I am a politically active person. I've never run for election. I've never been voted for. I've never been a politician, a political appointee.
I understand that. Just help us understand
this. It is
as we wind down. I understand. So would you say, yes or no, that the PDP, as it is right now, the leadership is courageous enough to take the appropriate action? Yes or no?
I will put them on the line, yes. And they had better, for the sake of the greater survival of the party.
So you're talking about the chairman of the party as it is right now and the NWC?
The chairman, the acting chairman of the party and the NWC are a collection of gentlemen.
All right.
But right now, push is coming to shove. And I will leave us with one Latin phrase. Peace pacem para bellum. He that wants peace should be prepared for war. But when you get huddled down, hobbled about, browbeaten by a man who has taken insults and verbal diarrhea into stratospheric levels, it is time we call the spade a spade and pull this badly skewed broom where it should be.
We have to anchor now.
That is the truth. Wike is not God.
We have to anchor right now. And I'll end with English and say thank you so much for being a part of our show this evening, Mr. Don Pedro Obaseki, Director of Research, PDP Presidential Campaign Council. It's been a pleasure having you.